I must anoint the gate, he said. The oil of my fathers will fight the spirit of barrenness. It will burn its hand away. He moved closer. She could feel the heat from his body. Open your legs, he said. No, Adamma whispered. Please, this is not... Silence. His voice was a whip. The spirit is listening. Do you want to insult the process? Do you want to be barren forever? Tears streamed from her eyes. Hot, silent tears. She was trapped. Open, he commanded again. Adamma sat on her small wooden stool in the market. She was selling bright red tomatoes. The sun was hot. It beat down on her head and made her wrap cloth stick to her back. All around her, the market was noisy. Women shouted prices. Men argued over goats. Children ran between the stalls, laughing and stealing small ground nuts. Adamma watched them. She watched a young woman, maybe 5 years younger than her, strap a fat baby to her back. The baby cooed. The mother laughed and bought smoked fish. Adamma's heart felt heavy. It felt like a stone in her chest. She had been married to Chinedu for 8 years. 8 long years. And her womb was empty. Every month the bleeding came, and every month the stone in her chest got heavier. She sold her last tomato and packed her basket. She tied the money carefully in the corner of her cloth and started the long walk home. The dust was red and fine. It covered her feet. When she got to the compound, she knew something was wrong. Mama Izine, her mother-in-law, was sitting on the veranda. She was not supposed to be there. She lived in the next village, a long walk away. Mama, good afternoon, Adamma said. She knelt as she was supposed to. Mama Izine did not answer. She just stared at Adamma's flat stomach. I brought some yams for my son, Mama Izine said. Her voice was sharp, like a knife. Yams are fruitful. They multiply in the ground. You put 1 yam in the earth and you get 5 back. It is a blessing. Adamma said nothing. She went inside to get the older woman some water. When she came back, Chinedu was home. He was a good man, but he was quiet. He was afraid of his mother. Mama, you are welcome, he said, touching his cap. Welcome? Is this a welcoming house? Mama Izine snapped. She refused the water Adamma offered. Chinedu, I am getting old. My eyes are weak. I want to see my grandchild before I join my ancestors. I want to hold the child that will carry your name. She looked at Adamma again. A house without the cry of a baby is not a home. It is just a building. It is a grave. Adamma's eyes stung with tears. She turned her head away. Mama, it is God that gives children, Chinedu said softly. Then your God is sleeping. Mama Izine stood up. She was a tall woman, even in her old age. A farmer does not plant his best seed on rocky ground. He finds new land. Do you understand me, my son? Chinedu looked down at his feet. Adamma understood. Find a new wife. That night, Adamma did not sleep. She lay on the mat, facing the wall. Chinedu lay beside her, pretending to be asleep. She could hear his breathing. It was not the breathing of a sleeping man. Chinedu, she whispered. He did not move. Chinedu, I am tired. I am tired of the whispers. I am tired of your mother's words. He turned over. What can we do? We have been to the hospital in the city. We have seen 3 doctors. They all say the same thing. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with me. But nothing happens. I heard something, Adamma said, sitting up. Ngozi told me, in the market. What did she tell you? There is a man, a prophet. They call him Prophet Ezekiel. He has a big church on the edge of town, the Mountain of Wonders Church. Chinedu sighed. Adamma, those men are thieves. They take your money and give you prayers that do not work.
No! Adamma's voice was suddenly strong. Ngozi said he is real. She said Mama Alice, the one who sold crayfish, was barren for 15 years. She went to Prophet Ezekiel. Now she has 2 boys. Twins! Chinedu was silent. The only sound was the chirping of crickets outside. She said he does not just pray, Adamma whispered. He sees things. He knows what is blocking the womb. He can remove it. A blockage? Chinedu sat up. What blockage? A spiritual one. A curse. An enemy from your father's house. Who knows? The doctors cannot see it, but he can. Chinedu was a modern man. He owned a radio. He did not believe in these things, but he also wanted a child. He wanted his mother to stop looking at him with shame. How much money does he want? Chinedu asked. Ngozi said the first visit is free. The consultation. After that, God will provide. Adamma, we must try, she begged. She held his arm. Her hands were shaking. Chinedu, please. It is the last road. If this fails, I will pack my bags. I will go back to my father's house. You can find new land. He heard the hopelessness in her voice. He saw the tears shining on her face in the moonlight. Okay, he said. We will go. We will go on Sunday. The Mountain of Wonders Church was not a mountain. It was a large, uncompleted building made of cement blocks. It had a rusted zinc roof that made the heat inside feel like an oven. It was packed. Thousands of people were there. They were singing and clapping. The music was so loud it hurt Agava's ears. They waited for 6 hours. First, there was the singing, then the dancing, then a long, loud sermon about enemies. Your enemy is not sleeping. Your enemy is blocking your promotion. Your enemy is blocking your visa. Your enemy is blocking your womb. The crowd screamed, "Fire!" Finally, the music stopped. A different man walked onto the stage. He was very tall and very thin. He wore a long white robe. He did not shout. His voice was soft, but it carried through the whole building. This was Prophet Ezekiel. He looked different from the loud preachers. His eyes were very black and very still. He did not blink. He pointed to people in the crowd. "You," he said, pointing to a man. "Your brother is stealing your land. Go home. He is there right now." The man ran out of the church. "You, woman in the yellow scarf, the pain in your back is gone." The woman shrieked and began to jump. Adamma's heart was beating fast. He was real. He could see. His eyes scanned the crowd. They moved slowly. Then they stopped. They stopped on Adamma. She froze. "You," he said, his voice soft as oil. "You are Adamma." Adamma's knees went weak. Chinedu had to hold her up. How did he know her name? "You have come for the fruit of the womb," the prophet said. It was not a question. "Yes, Papa," Adamma cried, finding her voice. "You have cried for 8 years. The doctors are useless. They see only flesh. I see the spirit. There is a lock on your womb." Adamma began to sob. It was true. "Come, you and your husband, come to the office after the service." They waited 2 more hours. Finally, they were led to a small hot room behind the stage. Prophet Ezekiel was sitting behind a large wooden desk. He looked tired, but his eyes were still bright. He stared at Adamma. He stared for a long time. It made her skin crawl. "There is an old woman from your husband's side. She is dead now, but her spirit is angry. She is the one holding the key to your womb." Chinedu looked confused. "My father's aunt? She died 20 years ago." "She is the one," the prophet said. "She was barren, and now she says no other woman in her line will carry a child easily. What can we do?" Adamma whispered. It will be hard. It requires a special deliverance, a private one. It is a battle for the womb, and it must be fought at the right time. He leaned forward. This is what you will do. In 3 days, it will be the new moon, the dark night. That is when the spirit is strong. He looked at Chinedu. You shall stay home and pray. You must not leave your house. Then he looked at Adamma. His eyes were like 2 black stones. You, Adamma, you will come here at midnight, and you will come alone.
For the next 3 days, Adamma and Chinedu did not talk about the prophet. It was a heavy, silent thing that sat between them on the sleeping mat. Chinedu would look at her, open his mouth, and then shut it. He was a simple man. He fixed bicycles. He understood metal and rubber. He did not understand angry spirits and midnight battles. Adamma did the work of 3 days. She washed clothes. She scrubbed pots. She pounded yams. She worked until her arms ached and her back felt like it would split. She was trying to scrub the fear from her skin. On the 3rd night, she bathed with cold water. She put on her best wrap cloth. Chinedu sat on his stool, watching her. Adamma, he said. His voice was rough. This does not feel right. Why at night? Why alone? A man of God works in the light. Ngozi said the deliverance is strong, Adamma said, tying her cloth. She did not look at him. Strong medicine is always better. It is not done in the open market. Let me come with you. I will wait at the gate. No, her voice was sharp. He said you must stay here and pray. He said if I break the rule, the curse will be sealed. It will never be broken. Do you want that? Chinedu looked down. No, he muttered. I am going, she said. She took the small amount of money for the Okada, the motorcycle taxi, and put it in a small pouch. Pray for me, husband. He looked up. His eyes were full of fear. Adamma, come back. I will, she said. The village was dead. The new moon made the night a thick black blanket. There was no light from the sky. The air was heavy and still. Adamma walked to the main road, her feet kicking up small puffs of dust that she could not see, only feel. Every sound made her jump. The hoot of an owl sounded like a warning. The rustle of a lizard in the dry leaves sounded like a snake. She waited for 30 minutes by the road. No Okadas passed. Who would be out on a moonless night? She was about to give up, to walk the long miles herself, when she saw a single, weak headlight. She flagged him down. He was an old man. He squinted at her. Where are you going at this hour, woman? The Mountain of Wonders Church, she said. The man pulled back. Ah, the prophet. No, not at night. I am going home. Please, Adamma begged. She untied her pouch and showed him the money. I will pay you double. It is an emergency. My child is sick. The man looked at the money, then at her. He sighed. The prophet. All emergencies go to the prophet. He kicked the engine. Get on. The ride was cold. The wind cut through her cloth and chilled her bones. The Okada driver did not speak again. When they reached the big, uncompleted church, he stopped 100 yards from the gate. This is as far as I go, he said. But the gate is there. I am not going closer. This place, it is not right at night. She paid him, and he turned the Okada around. The sound of his engine faded, and he was gone. He had taken the only light with him. Adamma was left alone in the total, crushing darkness. She stood still. Her heart was a drum in her chest. I will go back, she thought. Chinedu was right. This is wrong. But then she thought of Mama Azine's face. She thought of the word barren. She thought of the empty, silent house. She took a breath and walked toward the gate. It was open, just a crack. She slipped through. The large compound was empty. There was no music, no shouting, no fire. It was as silent as a graveyard. A single light burned from a small window near the back.
She walked toward it. Before she could knock, the door opened. It was a woman. She was tall and thin like the prophet. She wore a white wrapper and a white head tie. She did not say welcome. She did not smile. She just looked at Adamma. "The prophet is waiting," the woman said. Her voice was flat. She did not lead Adamma to the office. She led her down a narrow, dark hallway. The air was hot and smelled strange. It smelled of old palm oil and something else, something like burnt metal. The woman stopped at a solid wooden door. She took a large iron key from her pocket and turned a lock. The click was loud in the silence. She opened the door and pointed inside. "Wait here." She stepped inside. The room was small. It had no windows. The walls were bare cement. The only thing in the room was a single woven mat on the floor. She stepped back, and before Adamma could say anything, she shut the door. She heard the key turn in the lock. She was locked in. Panic rose in her throat like bile. "Hello," she called. Her voice was small. "Hello, let me out." There was no answer. She was in a black box. She could not see her own hand in front of her face. She felt the walls. They were rough and cold. The air was hot and thick. It was hard to breathe. She sat on the mat. She waited. She did not know how long. 1 hour? 2 hours? Her mind began to play tricks. She heard whispers. She felt things crawling on her skin. She was sweating. Her heart was beating so fast she thought it would burst. This was a trap. She was a fool. She would die here in this small black room, and Chineda would never know. She began to cry, softly at first, then deep, shaking sobs. And then she heard the key. The lock turned. The door opened. A shape stood in the doorway. It was Prophet Ezekiel. He was not wearing his white robe. He wore a simple black singlet and black trousers. He was barefoot. In the dim light from the hallway, she could see that his eyes were shining. He stepped into the room and shut the door behind him, but did not lock it. He was holding something in his hand, a small black calabash. "You are ready for your deliverance," he whispered. Adamma nodded, trembling. She could not speak. "The spirit of the blockade is here, in this room. It is angry. You must be strong." He set the calabash down. He knelt in front of her. "The lock is not in your stomach. It is deeper. The doctors cannot see it. The curse is a knot. To untie a spiritual knot, you must swallow the key." He opened the calabash. The smell hit Adamma immediately. It was not oil. It was a thick, black liquid. It smelled like burnt metal and rotten herbs. "I must anoint your womb from the inside," he said. "The potion of my fathers will burn the old woman's curse. It will make the soil fertile." He held the small bowl out to her. "Drink." Adamma's blood went cold. "No, Papa, please. What is it? I cannot." "Silence." His voice was a whip. "Do you want the child or do you want your fear? Choose. The spirit is listening. Do you want to be barren forever? I drink," he commanded. She took the bowl. Her hands were shaking so badly the black liquid sloshed. She brought it to her lips, but the smell made her gag. She pulled it back. "I can't." He sighed. It was not a sigh of frustration. It was a sigh of disappointment. Then his eyes went hard. "Then I will do it for you." Before she could move, he grabbed her. He was surprisingly strong. He clamped one hand on the back of her head, forcing her against the wall. He used his other hand to pinch her nose hard. Adamma's mouth opened on its own, gasping for air. In that second, he grabbed the calabash and poured the entire contents down her throat. It was not hot. It was cold, a thick, freezing, burning cold. It tasted like rust and ash. She choked and gagged, but he held her mouth shut until she swallowed. She fell to the mat, coughing and spitting. The cold stones seared a path down her chest, settling like a cold, heavy stone deep in her belly. He stood up, wiping his hand on a rag. "It is done," he panted. "The seed is planted. The road is clear. The old woman is defeated." He opened the door. The light from the hallway was blinding. "Clean yourself," he said, tossing the rag on the floor. She was on her hands and knees trying to vomit, but only a clear, watery spit came up. The cold stone in her stomach stayed put. "Listen to me," he said. He grabbed her chin, forcing her to look at him. His eyes were like a snake's. "You will not speak of this to anyone, not your husband, not your friends. The spirit requires silence for the seed to grow. If you speak, the seed will wither and the curse will return for all time. Do you understand?" She nodded, tears mixing with the filth on her face. "Good. Now go. And in 1 month, when your flow does not come, you will return, and you will bring a Thanksgiving offering, a large one." He stepped out and left the door open.
Adamma walked for 3 miles. She did not take an Okada. Her stomach felt wrong. It was not a normal sickness. A deep, cold cramp was centered in her belly. It felt like a stone. It was not a muscle pain. It was inside, in a place she could not touch. When she reached the compound, Chinedu was exactly where she had left him. He saw her and he ran. "Adamma, Adamma, you are back. I thought..." He went to hold her around the waist. Adamma screamed, a short, sharp cry, and pushed him away. "Don't touch me." Chinedu stopped. His hands fell to his sides. "Adamma, what is it? What happened?" He saw her face, pale and covered in sweat. The cold stone in her belly throbbed. "The deliverance," she said, catching her breath. It was strong. I am not to be touched. The work is settling." The lie came easily. She had to protect the seed. "I must wash," she said. She went to the back, her hand pressed against her stomach. She scrubbed her mouth until her gums were raw, but she could still taste the rust and ash. The next few weeks were a new kind of waiting. The cold cramp in her belly never left. It was a constant reminder. When Chinedu came to the mat at night, she would pretend to be fast asleep. She could not bear his touch. The one time he put his arm around her waist, the cold stone seemed to burn, and she felt sick. She told him it was the holiness of the deliverance. He believed her. He began to sleep on a separate mat. He was a good man, and she was lying to him every minute of every day. She hated the prophet, but she hated herself more. Then she waited for the blood. It was always on time. Like a clock, her body would fail her on the 28th day. She counted the days. Day 28 came. She woke up and her mat was clean. "It is just late," she told herself. The deliverance, it has changed the time." Day 29, nothing. Day 30, nothing. She did not feel hope. She felt a cold dread. On the 35th day, she was in the market. It was a hot, still afternoon. The woman next to her was roasting corn over a small charcoal pot. The smell of the smoke and the sweet, roasting kernels filled the air. Adamma's stomach turned inside out. She leaned over and vomited all over the red dust. A hot, bitter stream. Ngozi, who was selling okra nearby, rushed over. "Adamma, what is it? Is it bad fish?" Adamma wiped her mouth. She was shaking. Ngozi looked at her. She looked at her for a long time. She was counting. Her eyes went wide. "Adamma," Ngozi whispered, her voice full of awe. "It has been more than a month. Has it—" Adamma just stared at her. Ngozi grabbed her arm. "Have you felt sick in the mornings? The smell of the corn. Adamma, you are pregnant."
The word hung in the air, pregnant. The market women around them heard. The word spread from stall to stall. Adamma, the barren one, she is pregnant. Women started to clap. Someone started singing. Mama Alice, the one with the twins, ran over and hugged her. The prophet! I told you, the prophet is a true man of God. Adamma stood in the middle of it all, her head spinning. She was pregnant. When she told Chinedu, he cried. He fell on the ground and thanked his ancestors. He thanked the God he was not sure he believed in. He thanked Prophet Ezekiel. He ran. He did not walk. He ran all the way to the next village. He came back 3 hours later with Mama Ezine, the old woman who had called her a grave, who had told her son to find new land, walked into the compound. She was carrying a live chicken and a bag of new yams. She knelt. Mama Ezine knelt on the ground in front of Adamma. "My wife," the old woman said, and her voice broke. "My daughter, forgive me. You are the true mother of this house." Adamma was given a new stool. She was not allowed to carry water. She was not allowed to pound yams. She sat, and the village came to see her. They brought her groundnuts. They brought her oranges. They touched her stomach, which was still flat, and prayed over it. She was no longer Adamma. She was Mama Ibeji, mother of twins, Mama GMD, mother of the general managing director. She had a name. She was happy. She should be happy. This was everything she had ever wanted. But at night, the dreams came. She dreamed of a dark room. She dreamed of a snake, black and oily, crawling on her mat. She dreamed of the prophet's eyes. She would wake up, and her hands would be on her stomach, pressing, as if trying to feel what was inside. The sickness was bad. It was not just in the mornings. It was all day. She vomited water. She vomited air. She grew thin, even as her belly began to swell. "It is a strong child," Mama Ezine said, beaming. "A boy. He is fighting you. He will be a warrior." Adamma smiled, but she knew it was not the fight of a child. It was the same burning she felt from the oil. It was a sickness deep in her soul. She was in her 5th month. The sickness had finally passed. Her belly was round and high. Chinedu would talk to it. He would tap it and say, "Hey, my son, your father is here." Adamma was resting on her mat under the mango tree. The shade was cool. For the first time in months, she felt peaceful. She even felt a small flutter of love for the thing in her womb, her child. She put her hand on her stomach. She waited. And then she felt it. It was not a flutter. It was not a gentle roll. It was a kick. A hard, sharp, violent kick. It felt like a heel or an elbow jabbing her from the inside. She gasped. It kicked again. And again. Not like a baby, but like something trapped. When Adamma felt the first kick, it did not feel like a baby. It felt cold, and it felt angry. It felt like something was scratching, trying to get out. She stared down at her swollen stomach. The joy was gone. The peace was gone. She was not afraid of being barren anymore. She was terrified of what she was carrying. The prophet said the lock was broken. He said the road was clear. Adamma looked at her stomach, which was moving under her cloth, and she had a terrible thought. The prophet did not break the lock. He did not defeat the old woman. He put something in. He planted his own seed. This was not her harvest. It was his.